Hi everyone, this is Tracy Jackson here with Hometown Properties of the Gulf Coast, coming to you from my home office, and just wanted to give you a warning about an increase that we're seeing in Craigslist scams, and want to let you know what's happening and ways that you can avoid being scammed. So what's going on is legitimate listings, whether they be for sale and or for rent. The photos that are being put on the market by real estate agents through the public MLS are being scraped, for lack of a better word, but they take our photos, they create the same identical ad or very similar to our ad, and create fake email addresses, typically in the owner's name, which is more than likely public information, and they'll create legitimate looking emails. Typical story the scammer will say is that they fired their real estate agent and or their property management company because they wanted to charge too much money and they were too expensive, or some other story like that that is somewhat believable, but it's typically not. And they'll tell you, if you see the sign in the yard, just ignore it. They may somehow or another get a hold of a code to a lockbox, or they may even tell you to break the window. And if you like the property, after you move in, you can deduct that expense to get the window fixed from your next rent payment. I really have had that happen. So just be aware of things that you can do to ensure that you're not getting scammed on a rental listing. First off, if it's too good to be true, it's usually too good to be true. For instance, our current listing that's getting scammed, we have to flag it every day on Craigslist, is a listing that we have on the market for $14.75 with a pool. Cute house, great location, great, been recently updated, and it includes pool service. And the scammers are putting it on the market for $700, and typically they also say all utilities are included. Very rarely will you have a house with all utilities included. It does happen, but very, very rarely are all utilities included. So first off, like I said, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. At Hometown Properties, we do personally show our rentals. So we have a safety measure in place that you do have to verify your ID before we will set the appointment. But other than that, you will meet us in person at the listing so that you know that you're dealing with someone that is with a legit company and that we are a legit real estate agent. We are the property manager, so you know that who you're dealing with. And that is something you'll want to do. So if you are viewing a property, meet the agent, work with a real estate agent to verify that this is a legit listing. We're here to help you, I promise. Don't provide payment to anyone you haven't met in person. Don't send funds through the mail. Do not send wired funds, because once you wire funds from your bank, it's gone. You don't get it back. Never fill out applications that are email style, where you have to answer the questions back in the email, especially if they're asking for your social security number, date of birth, mom's maiden name, last address, where do you currently work, how much do you make, kind of typical application questions. But if it's not a legit property management site and or a legit background checking site, you've just given your personal information for them to steal your identity and open up credit and who knows what else in your name. So don't give out your personal information. Safeguard that, because if it's not a legit company, you need to go right now and file a police report, because your identity will be stolen, if not now, soon. So be sure to be very careful with who you give your personal information to. Also know there's usually nobody that guarantees the transaction. So there's no third-party guarantee. So just because you may have sent out the application, they don't guarantee that you'll get the property. That's just not how this business works. Never give out your financial info, and that also includes your PayPal account, your Venmo account, your Cash App account. Don't give access to your banking account information, Zelle account. There's so many different types of ways you can access your bank account now. Just be very, very careful. do not purchase or rent sight unseen. We don't like to rent sight unseen. We understand it has to be done every so often, but that's typically not the case. Be sure to view the property before you give out any of your personal information, and also work with a real estate agent. I promise you, we really do want to work with you and help you through this process. Never do a background or credit check until you have met or verified that you are doing business with a legit company. Just, again, safeguard your personal information. As far as Craigslist, there's no such thing as Craigslist voicemails, Craigslist voice messages. This is a service that doesn't exist. So if they tell you to do anything with that, it's not a legit service. So don't do that. If you do feel that you've been scammed, again, please go to the police department, fill out a police report, because you need to have that on record. You may also need to contact the credit bureaus as well to let them know that you've been potentially scammed. You can also report the listing on Craigslist. Zillow has a way to report listings too. They're usually called flagging. It works sometimes it doesn't. Like this one, we have to do it every day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. So just flag the listing. Let the company know that they're being scammed, so they can also do things to try to bring that ad down as well. Again, just be very, very careful of anyone that claims that they have fired their real estate company and you still see the sign in the yard. That's generally the number one sign. And just be safe and practice your social distancing. And we are here to help you if you need to find housing. That's Hometown Properties of the Gulf Coast. I'm Tracy, 850-912-9488. And our website is hometownpropertiesgc.com. Thanks.